Good evening. You're watching the news on Croatian television. Croatia celebrated 26 years of independence today. On October 8, 1991, Parliament unanimously adopted a decision to sever all ties with the former Yugoslavia. Prime Minister Andrej Plenković, Parliament Speaker Gordan Jandroković, and Presidential Envoy Vladimir Šeks were at Zagreb's Mirgoj Cemetery to lay wreaths at the central cross in the Croatian Veterans Walkway, at the grave of Croatia's first president, Franjo Tuđman, and the grave of the unidentified victims of the Homeland War. The Prime Minister said it was important to pay respects to the state leadership of the time and to all Croatian veterans and those who gave their lives for an independent Croatia.
Croatia experienced some very tough times 26 years ago. The international recognition of an independent Croatia occurred on January 15, 1992. This opened up the door to freedom, democracy and independence, thereby fulfilling the dream of generations of Croatians. With this, we now have the duty to ensure that our society is functional, orderly and tolerant. We must also strengthen our economy and make sure that all of our citizens feel at home in a free Croatia.
Independence Day celebrations later centered around the government buildings on Zagreb's St. Mark's Square. A ceremonial changing of the guard was held, which first took place in July 30th, 1991. The military band played and soldiers performed an intricate rifle drill. Defense Minister Damir Krstičević took the opportunity to thank all those who fought in the Homeland War.
I am personally very pleased to be celebrating Independence Day here on St. Mark's Square. I am deeply thankful to our Croatian veterans and the massive casualties they suffered for our independence and freedom. It is because of them and the leadership of our first president that we live in a free and peaceful Croatia.
Also in celebration of Independence Day, Parliament opened its doors to the public, allowing in groups of 50 people for 30-minute tours. Parliament Speaker Gordan Jandroković and Prime Minister Andrej Plenković were on hand for a mock session, answering questions from the public. With the complete audit report for the Agrokor conglomerate expected to be released tomorrow, the Parliament Speaker confirmed that a parliamentary committee tasked with investigating Agrokor may be formed without first coming to an agreement with the opposition. Last week, the HDZ and SDP made several failed attempts at reaching a deal on the committee and on the election of Constitutional Court justices.
We are ready and willing to form this investigative committee and elect its members in collaboration with all the political parties involved in this process. At the same time, we cannot accept the way in which the SDP is going about this. First of all, they are divided amongst themselves and routinely give conflicting information and statements. Therefore, if our colleagues from the Social Democratic Party continue with these games, we will consider founding a committee without them, and that is one of the possible options.
In related news, the Prime Minister also faced questions regarding Agrokor, primarily claims by the consortium's single largest creditor, Russia's state-owned Sberbank. They claimed last week that Croatia had nationalized Agrokor with the so-called Lex Agrokor legislation and was therefore responsible for repaying their debts.
I strongly refute allegations of nationalization. Nationalization is something completely different. This is a law that has enabled an emergency management team to take over for a limited amount of time. Sberbank is one of the most important creditors, and they have had ample opportunity to participate in this whole process. They have a legitimate interest in protecting their money. However, it should also be said that when they gave that money, they didn't ask me or you or the Croatian government anything. They are a commercial bank and they performed their own due diligence prior to handing out such a large loan.
Agrokor's owner and founder, Ivica Todorić, responded to the statement made by the Prime Minister, saying the government had indeed nationalized his private company, saying the so-called Lex Agrokor prevented him from performing any of his normal duties as owner. Todorić added that the legislation also put the burden of the consortium's €1 billion debt onto the Croatian taxpayer. The 26th Zagreb Marathon was held today, with 11,500 professional and amateur runners taking part. Kenyans dominated the day, winning both the men's and women's full and half marathons. Last year's winner, Biwott, set a new Zagreb Marathon record, crossing the line in 2 hours, 9 minutes and 55 seconds. And for the women, Barsosio secured her third win in as many years. Meanwhile, Dino Bošnjak of Croatia won the men's amateur event. Taking a quick look at sports in football, the Croatian national team has traveled to Ukraine ahead of tomorrow's final qualification game in the group stage for the 2018 World Cup in Russia. New coach Zlatko Dalic is in a must-win situation if Croatia is to keep their World Cup chances alive. A tie or loss in Kiev would almost certainly spell disaster for Team Croatia.
This definitely won't be easy, and I know we have a huge challenge ahead of us. At the same time, I'm not afraid, nor do I feel any tremendous pressure. I know what I need to do, and I will do it.
In handball, PPD Zagreb failed to secure their first win in Champions League action, playing Polish side Wisla Plock to a 28-28 tie in Zagreb. The Croatian champs have secured only 2 points in their first 4 games of competition. Their next game is in Mannheim, Germany versus RN Lowen on October 12th. Tomorrow's forecast calls for mostly sunny skies along the Adriatic coast, especially in Dalmatia. Parts of the northern coast will be cloudier, with the chance of light rain during the day. A northeasterly will blow on most of the coast during the morning and switching to a southwesterly during the day. The north and the open seas can expect a southeasterly wind. Morning lows of between 1 and 7 in the interior and between 9 and 14 on the coast will give way to highs of 18 to 23 degrees Celsius. More changeable weather and cloudier skies are in the forecast for Tuesday in continental regions, with light isolated showers in places. Wednesday and onwards looks to be mostly dry. A southwesterly wind and sunny skies will see temperatures rise, especially during the day. The Adriatic will be sunnier in the south, while northern regions can expect some kind of precipitation every day, with higher intensity on Tuesday and Wednesday. A southeasterly wind will blow in the north. Winds will be switching to a southwesterly and westerly by midweek. Temperatures will be warmer starting on Wednesday. And that brings us to the end of our program. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow night.